Behind me, the Dark Portal. Inside that, Illidan's fucking booty cheeks. And behind all of that is the Burning Goddamn Crusade, the best fucking expansion ever made in World of Warcraft's history. That's right, even Legion is just TBC 2.0. And while that is an amazing expansion, these gates, this is peak. Now, if you might not have noticed yet, we're already in Outland. Let me show you a 180 spin. So what do you see behind me? Hellfire Peninsula. In about 60 to 90 days, these gates open and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not potentially millions of players flood down these steps into Hellfire Peninsula so they can enter that dark castle back there. You can't probably see it right now, but there is a location on Hellfire Peninsula that leads to multiple dungeons, ramparts, blood furnace, Magtheridon in the basement. There are so many cool things to do here, and so many people are gonna skip the entire questing process to, that's right, you guessed it, dungeon spam to 70. Now, in this video, we are gonna be discussing the beautiful zones of Outland, and we're ranking them best to worst. And we're starting off with Hellfire Peninsula as not the worst and not the best. So we're not actually starting with Hellfire Peninsula. So let's move on to the worst zone. So where are we? We're still in Hellfire Peninsula because I thought about it, I changed my mind. This is the worst fucking zone. Not for the reasons you think. This zone is always contested at launch. But the launch experience isn't what makes it the worst thing, because every launch is terrible. Coming back to level here, at level 70 on a PvP server, is fucking AIDS. Why? Rogues. Rogues don't get invited to no fucking dungeons. They don't get invited to no fucking raids. All they can do is PvP. And playing on a PvP server in this context, Night Slayer, means you're gonna come out here to get molested when you're leveling later on. There's a reason people like the dungeons ban in Outland, and it's cause rogues get no fucking bitches. They have no fucking life, and they just like to gank people. But on top of that, there's many other reasons. Now I gotta be careful, I'm walking on a roof here. If I fall off, I'm going to die. And being realistic, as amazing as Outland is, as amazing as TBC is, Hellfire Peninsula is an amazing thematic zone, an amazing thematic experience, but at the same time, it's kinda lackluster. It's fucking red, it's dreary, and that fucking road right there, there's like 100,000 Draenei bones that make up that road. Kids, women, like Anakin went back and got them all. And that entire road leading up to the gate is dead fucking Draenei and some orcs. And like everybody else in Outland being real, there's probably ogres and shit. Mostly Draenei. But it's a dreary, gloomy, upsetting zone. So much drama, so much BS. The quests are decent, there's a lot of cool design choices. Of course, right behind me over there, you got the Alliance little town. And right over there, just off screen, you got Thrallmar, the Horde zone, a Whippy-Doo. And all of these locations, the storylines, the questing, it's good. But the other zones are just so much better that me saying Hellfire Peninsula is the worst isn't because Hellfire Peninsula is bad. It's like an 8 out of 10. And that's the standards we're competing with. Now, in terms of gameplay and what you can do here, fucking insane. Most of the endgame dungeons is on the, like right on this building. You know what? Let's get a new scene. Right behind me, Hellfire Citadel. One of the most iconic places in TBC with all the dungeons in there, the heroic dungeons. Oh man, I can't wait. I just saw C-Dank's TBC hardcore video. I can't wait to see the amount of dead fucking people in these dungeons right here, right? This entire shithole, this rundown piece of shit citadel is going to be the bane of pretty much every single person playing hardcore. You're gonna go in here and you're gonna get touched by very, very aggressive orcs. With so much fel energy coursing through them, they're trying to dispense that shit on somebody else. That somebody being you. But okay, great dungeons, great raid. I was gonna say raid, but there's only one raid. Magtheridon's right down there in the fucking basement. What else does this place got going for it? Depression. And that's why we're gonna move on to the next location, and this location is actually, honestly could be tied for worst fucking zone. Let's go take a look. Now, the next zone on our list is none other than Blade's Edge Mountain. The BS Mountain, as I like to call it. Because questing in here isn't exactly horrible, but it's not great. A lot of people I know actually skip questing in here, period, in the story. You can technically level to max level and never step foot inside this mountain. I do it once every single time, and then I never come back here unless I'm going into this cave to implode my guild with a goddamn DST from Gruul. Because that right there is Gruul's BS cave right there. That's where that motherfucker lives. To be fair, how does he fit in that cave? Now I know lore-wise, thematically, this cave is drastically bigger than it is in-game. That's what she said. But you see that, and you just go like, how the fuck did Gruul's ass fit in there? Nonetheless, you see all this, and you think to yourself, okay, but what else is bad about it? A, the design philosophy does have an epic questline with Rexxar, fucking the GOAT. I love Rexxar, my boy is OG. He's the reason we even have World of Warcraft, because of his campaign in Warcraft 3. But Blade's Edge Mountain, aside from Gruul, is honestly a forgotten... It's a shithole in comparison to the upcoming zones, not because as a zone it's actually bad. Like I said, TBC has incredible thematic design, incredible choices, incredible quest lines. But this zone is at the bottom right there with Hellfire Peninsula. I'm gonna give this zone minus, you know what, 0.5 points lower than Hellfire Peninsula. So does this make this worse than Hellfire Peninsula? Fuck no, I don't like this zone. But some people do. This road right here leads to the beautiful Shattrath City. Amazing, top tier, one of the goated zones of all time, the goated cities of all time. It really hits the nail on the top of the head. Now, what about the zone it's in, Terakar Forest? Now, Terakar Forest is the third worst zone in all of TBC. Again, not because it's bad. Now, it's sort of that central hub zone that connects you to everything else, right? If you head east, you get Shadowmoon Valley. If you head south, guess what's in the south? That's right, a fucking Coliseum, an arena. If you head west, you get the most beautiful fucking zone of all time. You get Nagrand. If you head northeast, what do you get? This camera is reversed, now I'm thinking about it. I should have been pointing the other fucking way. But for me, this is northeast. You get Hellfire Peninsula. And then of course, to the northeast, you have Karl Thus and his fucking mana batteries. Now, going back to Terakar, what is actually wrong with the zone? Nothing. The quest design is smooth, it has multiple hubs, multiple reputations to farm, you have the Aldor and Skryre BS and fucking Shattrath, you have a ginormous capital city, it's a good hub that connects you everywhere. In regards to design and thematic questing, fucking top tier. In regards to NPCs, location, lore and storytelling, fucking top tier. In regards to dungeons and questing and all of that jazz, top tier. But like I said before, I don't really want to spend too much time on this zone. I didn't say that before, but like I said before, it's just okay compared to what's coming. And these upcoming zones are just so much better. And we're gonna jump to number 4 on this list. Because now we're away from the worst to the top. So why is Netherstorm not in the top 3? The reasoning for this is very simple. It's fucking Netherstorm. It's thematically beautiful. It has a lot of the best dungeons in the game. It has one of the funnest raids, quotation marks, that's a fucking quote on a fucking quote. You got TK, Tempest Keep, fucking great zone, great raid. You got Ashes of Allah that people have been farming for fucking 2 decades. You have dungeoning and a thematic design that is unfucking rivaled. When people first saw Netherstorm, it was like a, whoa, sci-fi in my fantasy game? And then of course, we got fucking used to it, because not every fucking expansion, you got fucking mechanomes and all this other random shit. So it kind of lost that cool flavor. But for its time, this was outlandish in a fantasy game. Keep in mind, World of Warcraft was a fantasy game. And we get this shit. Fucking technology and flying ships. And that right there is Tempest Keep. Over there, a dungeon. That ship right there, another dungeon. Pretty sure that's also a dungeon. Now, you see the design, the choices, the questing, the endgame farming, the grinding. Netherstorm is honestly peak, right? Now, like I said before, there's no bad zones in TBC. There's no bad zones in Outland. Even the leveling zones, like the Ghostlands and the Blood Mist Isle and all these locations that the Draenei and the Blood Elves get, those are great too. And I'm not really going to cover those in this video because this is about Outland itself, about TBC, about the new zones that you get to go max level content in. This shit is thematically fucking goated. You can't look at this and tell me when you were playing back in 2007, you didn't jizz your fucking pants when you saw this shit. I'll tell you what, a lot of people fucking did. As I said, peak fucking gameplay, peak fucking design. Thematically, chef's fucking kiss. So why didn't it cut the top 3? The zone's kind of a pain in the ass to get around. 2, without flying, it's a fucking dog shit. C, it's a bit tougher compared to other zones. And D, when you consider all those factors, in terms of zone design, it's cool, it's eerie, it's dark, magical, technological. But it looks like fucking piss and ass. Thematically, it's piss sky and piss clouds. To be fair, if you're pissing pink color, like that probably don't want to actually, you want to go get that checked out by a doctor. But you guys get what I'm saying here. But it's still fucking iconic in comparison to the previous 3 zones I shared. Now though, we are entering the top 3 territory. I'll pause the video here and let me know in the comments down below what zone is in your top 3 and list them out in order 1, 2, 3. Because then we're going to compare it to what I put in here. Also like and subscribe, all the algorithm bullshit, whatever. Now, top 3. The 3rd best zone in all of TBC is none other than Shadowmoon Valley. Now, why is Shadowmoon Valley top 3? Fucking Black Temple, Illidan, all the Warcraft 3 storyline beats. This is a culmination of an experience. Seeing Black Temple for the first time. Doing the quest lines around it. I just gotta be real. Shadowmoon Valley has some of the best written quest lines in regards to actually setting up Black Temple, setting up the locations, the storytelling, Akama, and all these other things. It's incredibly thematically well done. It's an incredible experience, and it's the culmination of the entire TBC experience. Yes, I know you have another raid with Sunwell and all of that shit, but that's different. It's not because Sunwell is worse or whatever, but Sunwell was the extra raid added into Isle of Quel'Danas as a further continuation of TBC as a raiding experience. Whereas Black Temple was a lot of people's OG, I beat TBC. Now this isn't a video about Black Temple, it's a video about the zones itself. But every single thing ties back together into Black Temple, into Illidan's army and Illidan's legions. Setting up this ginormous force of the Alliance and the Horde have to get out a huge ginormous army to siege this temple and fight him and prepare things. It's very hard for me to put into words just how amazing of a story this was to complete the first time around and how amazing it'll be to go back again and do it again. On top of that, finishing the zone's quest at level 70 gives you like 2,000 gold for the zone. That's fucking insane, right? That's really good gold to just quest in here at max level. But nonetheless, Black Temple, Shadowmoon Valley is a top 3 zone. The dark thematic, the demonic zones, the demonic invasion, all these different like little parts and pieces. There's a world boss in the zone. Like everything comes together and points to a Shadowmoon Valley being a definite top 3. Now for some people, Shadowmoon Valley is not going to be top 3. It's probably going to be like bottom 3. And that's understandable, that's fair. But for me, this zone truly does peak as the pinnacle of the Burning Crusade. Illidan's storyline. The whole cinematic of TBC was Illidan saying, "You're not prepared," from that balcony right up there at the very fucking tippy top. And now we have top 2, and Zangarmarsh is honestly one of the most iconic, beautiful zones I could potentially ever really describe. The first time you ever see the zone, the first time you start questing here, the dungeons, the raid with SSC. There's so many things here that made Zangarmarsh stand out. Zangarmarsh was alien. Hellfire Peninsula was a throwback to Warcraft 3, where you went in there and you started doing things, and you just started seeing all these like storylines and story beats. Magtheridon, who used to be the previous ruler of Outland, and all these things, like everything, the culmination, the setup of the lore. And then you walk into Zangarmarsh, and this alien biome, this alien universe, and you have the Broken, the Naga, you have all of these storylines and beats setting up Lady Vash. And on top of that, the skyline, the eerie, alien feeling desolation. You truly felt like you were stepping into another universe, another, like, not just a continuation of an OG storyline. You felt like you were stepping into an actual separate reality that was connected to everything. Hellfire Peninsula was your introduction to, holy fuck, we're in a whole nother world. And Zangarmarsh was the final nail in the head that made you go, damn, we are the illegal aliens. And the whole zone itself is fucking phenomenal. There isn't much wrong with the zone, except when you first start, it's very convoluted and very full of people, and it's very frustrating to really dive into. Leveling here is a kind of a pain in the ass. For me, on my first character, if I'm ahead of the curve, I'll do Hellfire and Zangarmarsh, but typically if I'm not there in wave 1 of the launch of a new expansion, like on Night Slayer, I'm gonna dungeon spam. Not because I want to dungeon spam, because you're not gonna be able to quest in Hellfire Citadel and Zangarmarsh. You're just not gonna be able to do it. It's not gonna be feasible. But not counting that, shit's fucking phenomenal. There's many things you could criticize about Zangarmarsh. For example, it feeling too disconnected from the rest of Outland. It didn't really fit in thematically. It felt kind of off. But if those are your reasonings, you go fuck yourself. I disagree. It doesn't have to be in your top 2 personal favorites, but saying it's not in the top 3 is lying through your teeth. This is the goated fucking zone. And right here, we have Nagrand, the singular best zone in TBC. If you say it's not the best zone, dislike the video and get the fuck out right now. Nagrand is hands down the best zone. From starting Garrosh's storyline, helping him go from a crybaby to realizing his dad was actually a hero. Well, he was a villain, but he became a hero and redeemed the Horde. To learning about every other story beat, the Demon Hunter questline in the zone. There are so many really, really, really good things and really intriguing storylines and story arcs in this entire experience. From the Ogres, to the Draenei, to the Broken, to every single possible story beat that you could think of. Nagrand does that shit perfectly. And of course, right here, behind me in particular, there's a rather big motherfucker walking laps. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's like the Fel Reaver, but not as Cancer, because he walks in a particular path, whereas the Fel Reaver just likes to sneak up on you and molest you. Whereas this guy has a path, and if you get in his way, he'll molest you. Otherwise, he just does his own thing. But this entire zone is just the peak of TBC's design. Every single time I quest in Nagrand, every single time I quest in this zone, I quest in this experience, I think to myself, man, it's fucking gorgeous. And as you can see from the night to day transition to that, from that cycle, look at this skyline. Look at this beautiful greenery. They just don't do it like this no more. World of Warcraft doesn't hit the same way it used to hit. And Nagrand is the peak thematic design, not counting Grizzly Hills, in Wrath of the Lich King. This is what people would consider their memories. When people remember TBC, they remember the raids, they remember the Karazhans, they remember all those little things, and they remember questing in Nagrand. As a kid, the only real memories I have left are fucking fighting in Hala and my guild going and doing a whole fucking war so I could actually do the stupid fucking Hala grind. And that's pretty much it. Nagrand and fucking crying when Illidan died in Black Temple. That's my memories of TBC when I was a dumbass kid. So you look at Nagrand and you can't tell me you don't have some iconic memories here from an OG old head who used to play back in 2007, or even from 2021. TBC is peak design, and Nagrand is the tip of the iceberg of that peakness. Right here. This right here is Nagrand. This is TBC. Nonetheless, you see all this, and you have to acknowledge that from the Ring of Blood and all the little quest lines that Nagrand has, that there is not a better zone in TBC. There is not a better zone that sets up and culminates that storyline and arc in a satisfying manner as fucking Nagrand. And as this video starts to head into nighttime, it's time for me to head to bed as well. So thank you all for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what is your top 7 zones? I'm genuinely curious. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you hated this video, understandable. Dislike and subscribe and become a dedicated hater. Thank you all for watching. Ebonhard out. Peace.